Now it's time for me to welcome here on the stage in Milan Carola Carazzone, who's Secretary General of Assifero, who's the Italian Association of Family, Corporate and Community Grant-Making Foundation, and also the chair of Dafne, which is the European Donors and Foundations Chair, and she's the first Italian. So welcome, and we are happy you're here.
Thank you so much, Andrea. Local dimension is today more than ever directly intertwined with the global one. It is exactly at this intertwining in local and global, mutually reinforcing or mutually destroying each other, that lies a new horizon of power and impact for philanthropy networks. Collaboration and collective action among foundations and funders cannot be taken for granted, have to be intentional. Solipsism in ivory towers, as well as egos and silos, were our enemies in philanthropies for centuries. Today we learn, we know that to face the systemic challenges in front of us, no single hero, no single genius, no single country, no single giant foundation can make it. If we want to enlarge resources available, if we want to accelerate the learning process, avoiding to reinvent the wheel, if we want to scale impact, collective impact, and if we want to enable influence on public policy, we need to intentionally invest, strategically invest in philanthropy networks. I am impressed of the vision and capacity of F20. The platform that F20 is offering us today is unique and extremely relevant and opens up a new horizon of engagement, participation, and collective impact. Allow me to mention two European network, philanthropy network initiatives that are particularly meaningful today. 2 years ago, as Dafne, Donors and Foundation Networks in Europe, thanks to the initiative of National Association in the UK, in France, and in Spain, and then in Italy, we launched a funders' commitment for climate change. Of course, a commitment, a pledge, is a starting point, not an arrival point, but is a movement. And 1 week ago, we scaled with the Philanthropy Coalition on Climate at global level with wings publicly. So it's really to support a network of private funders that are committed to embed climate lens in their own spending, in their own investment management, in their own operations. So it's really our aim to go beyond the only the ready environmental funders that are, by the way, just 3% of the funding, private funding in Europe. So just 3% is environmental funders. But our aim with the international commitments and national commitments on climate for funders is really to engage any funders, any mission, any field of action, any size. Community foundation are so meaningful to that, as well as family and corporate foundation. In the same perspective, really in line with the vision that climate change is not an environmental issue, is a societal issue, is a systemic challenge. The other initiative that I want to mention that is particularly meaningful is the one of ECFI, European Community Foundation Initiative. We have almost 900 community foundations across the continent. And ECFI is the initiative launched 4 years ago to connect them and really build a movement for community foundation across Europe. ECFI, 1.5 years ago, launched a new tool for an all strategy approach to the SDGs, towards the idea that SDGs can be embedded in the investment management, in the spending side, in the operations, in the communication, and in all the dimension of community foundations. Again, it's not a standalone idea of investing on SDGs as a separate project or standalone, but really embedding and integrating in what community foundations across the continent are already doing. So I will end with a last call about impact that is echoing, of course, Jess Ayers yesterday of the SIF. If we want to have impact on systemic challenges, we cannot use the old models and the old modalities. Earmark restricted to project funding doesn't work. Linear list of activities cannot embrace the complexity of today's systemic challenge. The time of project funded as the only modality of funding is over if we want to have collective impact. We need flexible, long-term funding, really investing in civil society and in organizations to allow them to embrace the complexity of today's challenges. Thank you so much.
Thank you, grazie. Thank you, Carola Carazzone, also for your passion